The containment alarm screamed through Kelbrook Station's third habitation ring, and Reshka's spine went rigid before her conscious mind registered the pattern. Code 7. Biological hazard. Sentient. She ran. Her claws scraped deck plating as she rounded the corner toward medical, her pulse hammering against her throat membranes. 4 years on the station, 3 Code 7s, all contained within minutes. This one had been shrieking for 8. The medical bay doors stood open. Empty. Reshka's thermal pits flared, scanning. Nothing. She keyed her comm, status report. The response crackled with static and something else. Heavy breathing. Hab Ring 3, Section K. The breach came from cold storage. It's in the maintenance tunnels. Species. Unknown. We're sealing the sector. Reshka felt her crest flatten against her skull. Maintenance tunnels meant the thing could be anywhere in 6 minutes. Kelbrook housed 47 species across 9 habitation rings. Most couldn't survive what lived in medical cold storage. She moved toward Section K, her sidearm ready. The tunnels reeked of ozone and something organic, something that made her throat membranes close. Emergency lighting painted everything rust-colored. She crouched low, following the scent trail. A sound ahead, wet, rhythmic, breathing. Reshka edged around a junction and froze. The human sat cross-legged on the floor. Warren, the new addition to the maintenance crew. He'd arrived 3 weeks ago, and Reshka had noticed him immediately, not for his work, though that was competent enough. She'd noticed the way he moved through the station, unhurried but deliberate. The way his voice carried a low warmth when he spoke. How his hands looked when he worked, steady and precise. She'd told herself it was professional observation. Security required knowing the crew. Right now he had his back to her, shoulders relaxed, head tilted. Those broad shoulders she definitely hadn't been noticing. Talking. Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. You're scared, aren't you? Yeah, I can see it. Those pulses, that's fear. You don't want to be here either. Reshka's thermal pits registered the temperature shift before her eyes processed it. The creature sat 2 meters from him. It was the size of a small child, hunched and trembling. Translucent flesh revealed internal structures that pulsed with bioluminescence, blues and greens shifting beneath the surface like oil on water. 6 legs, each ending in delicate grasping appendages. No eyes she could see, but sensor organs clustered across its head region, quivering. A drift feeder. Reshka's claws dug into her palm. They'd confiscated it from a smuggler last month. Illegal bioweapon. It fed on neural tissue, burrowing into the skull through auditory canals. Once inside, it dissolved the brain over 48 hours, while the host remained conscious. Victims described the sensation as their thoughts being eaten. Warren, she hissed. Don't move. He glanced back, and she saw no fear in his face, just curiosity and something softer. His eyes met hers, dark brown, steady, and Reshka felt her throat membranes flutter involuntarily. Professional. Stay professional, it's okay. She won't hurt anyone. The feeder's sensor organs swiveled toward Reshka. The bioluminescence beneath its skin flared bright white, then red. Threat display. Warren shifted, placing himself between Reshka and the creature, between her and danger. The realization hit her thermal pits like a spike. This human male was protecting her. Hey, no, she's a friend. Look, see, she's putting her weapon down. Reshka had not put her weapon down. Her aim stayed locked on the feeder's center mass. One shot, molecular disruptor, it would be over in seconds. Warren, that thing will kill you. No, she won't. It's a weapon, a parasite. It eats brains. Yeah, I read the file. He turned back to the feeder, extending his hand slowly. But she hasn't tried to hurt me. She's been sitting here for 10 minutes, just shaking. I think she's lost. You think it's lost? Reshka's voice came out flat with disbelief. Her thermal pits read Warren's body temperature, elevated but not enough for fever. His heartbeat stayed slow, measured. calm in the face of something designed to kill him. Why did that make her crest rise? The feeder extended one leg toward Warren's hand. Reshka's finger tightened on the trigger. The leg touched his palm. The feeder's bioluminescence shifted, blues and greens swirling, the red fading. Its sensor organs stopped quivering. The trembling in its body eased. Warren smiled, and Reshka's thermal pits registered the temperature change in her own body. Inappropriate. Unprofessional. There you go. Not so scary, right? Reshka watched the impossible scene unfold. The feeder climbed onto Warren's lap, curling its legs beneath itself. The bioluminescence pulsed in a new rhythm, slower, softer. Is it purring? Warren laughed, the sound echoing in the tunnel, doing things to Reshka's internal temperature regulation she had no business experiencing on duty. I don't know if it's technically purring, but yeah, feels like it. She's vibrating. He stroked the feeder's back with 2 fingers. The translucent skin rippled under his touch. You're insane, Reshka said. Maybe, but look at her. Does she look dangerous to you right now? Yes, because she is. Warren's expression shifted, something harder moving behind his eyes. She's also terrified and alone and doesn't understand why everyone wants to kill her. That makes me dangerous too, when you think about it. Reshka's thermal pits registered another temperature spike. Adrenaline, cortisol, elevated heart rate, fight-or-flight response. But Warren didn't move. He kept stroking the feeder, his other hand resting on its head region. This is a bad idea, Reshka said. Probably. He looked up at her, and his eyes held that peculiar human intensity. But I'm not letting you kill her. The words settled into the space between them. Reshka had shot hostile fauna 13 times in her career. She'd terminated rogue maintenance bots. She'd once collapsed a section of station to prevent a plague fungus from spreading. None of it had made her hesitate. Warren made her hesitate. She lowered her weapon. His shoulders relaxed. Thank you, don't thank me yet. She keyed her calm, her eyes never leaving his. This is Officer Reshka. Code 7 contained. I need a level 4 containment unit in HAB 3, Section K, and someone get me Administrator Vec. The response came quick. Confirmed. Is the subject neutralized? Reshka looked at Warren, at the way his fingers moved over the creature's back with such gentleness. Contained, she said, not neutralized. The containment unit arrived 6 minutes later. Warren didn't fight when they asked him to surrender the feeder, but his jaw set in that way Reshka was learning meant stubbornness. I'm not leaving her alone. Mr. Warren, that's not protocol. Then change the protocol. He met Reshka's eyes. Or shoot me for insubordination. Your choice. Reshka's crest flattened. The human was going to get her fired, or court-martialed, or both. She made a decision that would haunt her career for months. Fine, but I'm coming with you. Warren blinked. What? Someone needs to supervise. She holstered her weapon. And if that thing tries to eat your brain, I'm the only one who can stop it. The truth was more complicated. The truth involved the way her thermal pits tracked his body heat, the way her throat membranes had been fluttering since he'd smiled at her. The truth was dangerous. The containment unit was barely large enough for 3. Reshka sealed them inside, acutely aware of how close Warren stood. Close enough that she could smell him, something clean and warm with an undertone of whatever oils humans used on their skin. The feeder's bioluminescence flared white. Warren crouched down. Hey girl, it's okay, we're staying with you. He glanced up at Reshka. Thank you for this. Don't thank me until we survive it. But she sat down across from him, her back against the clear polymer wall. The feeder settled between them, sensor organs swiveling to track both their faces. They waited like that for Administrator Vec to arrive. 23 minutes, according to Reshka's internal chronometer. 23 minutes of watching Warren's hands gentle the creature. 23 minutes of him catching her stare and smiling slightly, like he knew exactly what she was thinking. Impossible. Humans weren't telepathic. When Vec finally appeared outside the cube, her mandibles were already clicking displeasure. Explain. Reshka gave the report through the cube's comm system. Breach, pursuit, Warren's intervention, the feeder's unusual behavior. She kept her voice neutral, professional, even as she described the creature purring in his lap. And why, Vec asked slowly, are you inside the containment unit? Supervision protocol. Direct observation of subject behavior. We have cameras. Cameras don't shoot disruptors if something goes wrong. Vec's mandibles clicked faster. She was calculating. Reshka knew that pattern. Warren spoke up. She's not dangerous. Give us 48 hours. If she shows any aggression, I'll surrender her to whatever protocols you want. But she needs time to settle. Being in here with us, it helps her stay calm. Us. The word made Reshka's crest rise. Vec's translator made a grinding sound. 48 hours. But Officer Reshka remains present at all times. No exceptions. If either of you leaves that cube, the creature is terminated immediately. Understood. Reshka's internal chronometer marked the start. 48 hours in a 3-meter cube with a human who made her thermal regulation malfunction and a bioweapon that purred. This would be interesting. Hour 6. The feeder, Warren had started calling her Shimmer, dozed between them, her bioluminescence a soft blue-green pulse. Warren leaned against one wall, his eyes heavy. You should sleep, Reshka said. So should you. One of us needs to stay alert. He smiled, tired but genuine. You don't trust me to keep watch. I don't trust myself to stay awake if you're already sleeping. The admission slipped out before she could stop it. Too honest, too revealing. Warren's expression shifted. Fair enough. We could take shifts. They worked out a schedule. 4-hour rotations. Warren took first watch, insisting Reshka looked more exhausted. She wanted to argue, but her body betrayed her with a jaw-stretching yawn that exposed her throat membranes. Okay, but wake me if anything changes. Promise. Reshka curled against the opposite wall, her back to Warren, trying to ignore how aware she was of him. His breathing. The slight sounds he made shifting position. The warmth of his body heat reaching her across the small space. Sleep took longer than it should have. Hour 14. Warren woke to Shimmer's bioluminescence, flaring yellow. The creature's sensor organs swept the cube frantically, and her body trembled. Reshka sat rigid, her weapon drawn. She tried to approach me, she said, her voice tight. I moved and she backed off, but Warren was at Shimmer's side immediately, his hands on her translucent back. Hey, it's okay. Reshka's not a threat. She's family. The word hung in the air. Shimmer's bioluminescence shifted through rapid colors. Warren kept up a steady stream of soft words, and gradually the yellow faded back to blue-green. Reshka lowered her weapon. I'm sorry. I should have stayed still. No. Warren looked at her across Shimmer's body. You did the right thing. She needs to learn that you're safe too. He extended his hand to Reshka. Come here. Slow. Reshka's heart rate spiked. She moved forward one careful step at a time until she knelt within arm's reach of Warren, close enough to see the flecks of lighter brown in his eyes, close enough to watch his throat move when he swallowed. Let her smell you, he said softly. Smell. Humans scent mark their pack. If Shimmer learns your scent while I'm touching her, she'll associate you with safety. Reshka extended her hand. Shimmer's sensor organs swept over it, lingering. The bioluminescence pulsed uncertainty, yellow mixing with blue. Warren reached out and took Reshka's hand. His skin was warmer than expected, slightly rough at the palm. His fingers curled around hers with careful pressure, and Reshka's entire sensory system lit up. There, Warren murmured, see, we're together. She's safe, you're safe. He was talking to Shimmer, but his eyes stayed on Reshka's face. Shimmer's bioluminescence steadied to pure blue, her sensor organs calmed. Slowly, tentatively, she extended one leg and touched the place where Warren's hand held Reshka's. Good girl, Warren whispered. He didn't let go immediately. The contact stretched 5 seconds, 10, 15. Reshka's thermal pits mapped his body heat, her brain cataloging sensations she had no business noting. The calluses on his palm, the steadiness of his grip, the faint tremor in his fingers that suggested maybe she wasn't the only one affected. When he finally released her hand, Reshka felt the loss like cold air on skin. Hour 28. They'd fallen into an easier rhythm. Shimmer accepted Reshka's presence, though she still preferred Warren's lap. They'd shared ration bars and water, talked about their work, their lives before the station. Reshka learned Warren had spent 3 years on deep space haulers before taking the station job. That he preferred night shifts because he liked the quiet. That he'd grown up on a planet called Montana and still missed the mountains. Warren learned Reshka had joined station security after her clutch sister died in a pirate raid. That she sent half her pay to her remaining family. That she'd never been off station in 4 years because she was saving for a ship of her own. Somewhere around hour 30, exhaustion caught up with both of them. Reshka woke to find herself slumped against Warren's shoulder. She jerked upright. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it's okay." His voice carried that low warmth she'd noticed before, deeper now with sleep. "You were tired. I shouldn't have, Reshka." He shifted to face her, and the movement brought them closer. "We've been in here 30 hours. I'm not going to file a complaint because you fell asleep on my shoulder." Shimmer dozed in Warren's lap, her bioluminescence a steady pulse. The cube's lighting had dimmed to night cycle settings. Everything felt smaller, more intimate. "Your thermal signature is comfortable," Reshka said, then immediately wanted to bite her own tongue off. Why did she say that? Warren smiled. "Is that a good thing? It's warm. Humans run hotter than most species. Does it bother you?" "No." The word came out softer than intended. "Good." Warren's eyes tracked her face, lingering on her throat membranes, "because you're not exactly cold yourself. Your skin temperature spikes when you're nervous. You can tell that. I notice things." "What else do you notice?" Reshka shouldn't have asked. Shouldn't have let her voice drop into that range. Shouldn't have leaned slightly closer. Warren's gaze moved to her mouth, then back to her eyes. "I notice that your crest rises when you're interested in something. That your throat membranes flutter when you're trying not to react to something. That you've been watching me almost as much as I've been watching you." Heat flooded Reshka's body. "I'm monitoring a dangerous situation." "Sure." His smile widened slightly. "That's why your thermal signature jumps every time I look at you. Humans aren't supposed to read thermal signatures. We're not, but you're not exactly subtle." Reshka's crest flattened. "I'm your supervisor. Right now you're someone stuck in a box with me for another 18 hours. He shifted, and somehow the movement brought his face closer to hers. "And right now I'm really glad you decided to come in here. This is inappropriate. Probably. I could lose my position." "You could. Then why are you doing this?" "Because watching you has been driving me insane for 3 weeks. Because the way you move through the station makes me forget what I'm supposed to be fixing. Because when you pointed that weapon at Shimmer, all I could think about was that I didn't want you to have to live with killing something." He reached up slowly, giving her time to pull back. His fingers touched the edge of her jaw, just below her throat membranes. "And because your skin changes texture here when you're aroused, and I've wanted to touch it since the first time I saw it happen." Reshka's membranes fluttered violently. Warren's thumb traced the ridge of her throat with devastating gentleness. "Tell me to stop." "Don't." The word came out breathless. "Don't stop. Don't stop." Warren leaned in, his eyes asking permission she'd already given. His mouth found hers, warm, careful, tasting faintly of the ration bars they'd shared. Reshka made a sound she didn't recognize, her hands coming up to grip his shoulders. He kissed like he did everything else. Deliberately, thoroughly, like he had all the time in the universe and intended to use it learning exactly what made her respond. When they finally broke apart, both breathing harder, Shimmer's bioluminescence had shifted to a pulsing green. Did she just, Warren started, change color based on our emotional states? Reshka finished. Yes, I think she did. They looked at each other and laughed, the sound quiet but genuine. Warren settled back against the wall, pulling Reshka with him. She went willingly, curling against his side with her head on his shoulder. His arm wrapped around her, and his heart beat steady against her ear. "This is still inappropriate," she murmured. "Noted." He pressed a kiss to the top of her head. "We'll deal with it when we get out of here. And if they terminate Shimmer, then we'll deal with that too." His arm tightened. Together, together. Reshka closed her eyes, feeling the vibration of Shimmer's purr, the warmth of Warren's body, the steady rise and fall of his breathing. 18 more hours suddenly didn't seem long enough. Administrator, Vec unsealed the cube at hour 48. Her mandibles clicked in patterns Reshka couldn't quite interpret as Warren handed over Shimmer, who immediately flared distressed white. "You're both dismissed for medical evaluation," Vec said. "Report to my office in 6 hours." Reshka and Warren walked toward the medical bay together, not quite touching, but close enough that their shoulders brushed. Other crew members stared. Reshka's career was probably ending. She couldn't bring herself to care. At the med bay entrance, Warren caught her hand. "Whatever happens with Vec, I meant what I said. We'll handle it together." Reshka looked at their joined hands, at his face, at the certainty in his eyes. Together, she agreed. Vec's office 6 hours later. Reshka stood at attention while Warren slouched in a chair, looking far too relaxed for someone facing potential termination. Vec's mandibles clicked steadily. "You violated containment protocols, engaged in inappropriate conduct while on duty, created a diplomatic incident." She paused, mandibles slowing. "You also prevented a lethal bioweapon from causing casualties and demonstrated unprecedented interspecies behavioral modification. The Xenobiology Council wants to study this. Both of you, with the creature." Reshka's crest rose. "Study, controlled observation, if you're willing." Vec's compound eyes fixed on Reshka. "I'm reassigning you from security to research liaison. You'll supervise all sessions with the creature, document behavioral changes, ensure protocols are maintained." Her mandibles shifted to a new pattern. "And try to keep your personal relationship with Mr. Warren from compromising the scientific integrity of the study. Though I suspect that ship has already sailed." Heat flooded Reshka's body. "I save it." Vec's translator made that grinding sound again. "Humans pack bond with anything. Apparently that includes station security officers. Just try to be professional about it." Warren caught Reshka's eye and smiled. "We'll try," he said. "No promises." The research protocols started a week later. Reshka attended every session, now officially as liaison rather than guard. The xenobiologists ran their scans while Warren worked with Shimmer, building trust, teaching her boundaries, proving day by day that she could be something more than a weapon. And every session, after the scientists left, Warren and Reshka stayed, talking, touching, learning each other the way Warren taught Shimmer, through patience and gentleness and time. 3 months in, Dr. Corin pulled Reshka aside. "The creature is adapting. Its neural structure is changing in response to Warren's presence, forming new pathways. It's learning. Learning what?" Corin's gestures suggested wonder. "To be something other than a weapon." She paused. "You're changing too, Officer Reshka. Your hormone levels, stress responses, even your social interaction patterns. The human is affecting you the same way he's affecting the creature." Reshka looked through the observation window to where Warren sat with Shimmer in his lap, laughing at something she'd done. "I know," Reshka said softly. "I know." 6 months into the study, the council called their final meeting. The verdict: Shimmer was no longer a bioweapon. She was something new, something without precedent, but her containment status needed resolution. The Scarex representative proposed a xenobiological preserve. Warren refused. The argument escalated until Reshka stepped forward. Proposal. Warren retains custody under permanent supervision. I'll serve as liaison, monthly evaluations. Any aggressive behavior triggers immediate intervention. She met Vec's compound eyes. And I'm formally requesting transfer to civilian research status. I can't supervise this properly while maintaining security protocols. Vec's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. That would require you to resign your commission. I know, you're giving up 4 years of service and pension accrual. I know. Vec looked between Reshka and Warren, then at Shimmer curled peacefully in his lap. Approved. But understand, both of you, this creature is your joint responsibility now. If anything happens, nothing will happen, Warren said. His hand found Reshka's. We take care of our own. Vec dismissed them. They walked out together, hands linked, Shimmer's portable containment unit between them. That night, Warren's quarters. He'd expanded the habitat corner, added enrichment structures, temperature controls. Shimmer explored her new space while Warren and Reshka stood watching. So, Warren said, you gave up your career. I gave up a job. Reshka turned to face him. I didn't give up anything that mattered. His hands found her hips, pulling her closer. And what matters? This. She touched his face, tracing the line of his jaw. You, what we're building, all three of us, all three of us. Warren kissed her slowly, thoroughly, until Shimmer's bioluminescence flared bright yellow with what Dr. Corrin had identified as empathic joy response. They broke apart laughing. She's going to do that every time, isn't she? Reshka said. Probably. Warren's arms stayed around her waist. Think you can handle it? Reshka looked at him, this human who'd seen a weapon and found a friend, who'd risked everything for something others called an abomination, who'd somehow made space in his life for both a bioweapon and a security officer who'd forgotten how to keep her professional distance. I think I can handle anything, she said, as long as you're there. Good. He pressed his forehead to hers, and Shimmer's bioluminescence pulsed soft green. Because I'm not going anywhere. Neither am I. Shimmer climbed onto the sleeping platform, curled into a ball, and began her purring vibration. Warren guided Reshka down beside her, pulling her against his chest, his arms wrapped around both of them. Reshka's thermal pits registered their synchronized body temperatures, their matched breathing patterns. They'd become something new together, not just human and alien, not just human and weapon. Family. This is insane, Reshka murmured against Warren's throat. Yeah. His hand traced patterns on her spine. We really are. But she was smiling as she said it, and so was he, and Shimmer purred between them like she'd always been meant to be there. Maybe the scariest things just needed someone to give them a chance. Maybe connection mattered more than fear. Maybe sometimes love was worth the risk.